Hey, welcome to the channel here at Lucky Lone Outdoors. I'm John, and today I've got something I'm pretty excited about. This is the MotoTent from Lone Rider, and this is the one that's got that big garage on it that you can put your motorcycle in, or use as a dance studio, or a place to cook or hang out. That tent. And this video is going to be an initial impressions video. I've not opened this yet. I've not played with it. I've only taken it out of the box, and this is what we have to work with. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear it apart, take it apart. You're going to see my initial impressions. First time I've ever looked at it or opened it up. And we'll open it up. I'll give you kind of my impressions of what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, and kind of what I'm expecting. And we'll set it up and we'll throw this guy in there and see how well it fits. And I'll give you some initial impressions on it. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, let's get started, shall we? So first off, this thing is really heavy. It is not light. I don't see someone really taking this on like a smaller dual sport. This would definitely be something to take on probably a GS or something like that. Something a little bit bigger. This is not small. However, start from the outside. I like our ripstop fabric we got on here. That's pretty dang nice. I like the reflective strips you see here along the sides. This isn't a bad thing to have kind of sticking out the back. We have it strapped on your bike so people notice you a little bit better. Yeah. Or when you break down, like, you know, when that breaks down, or any other KTM or Husqvarna product. But, yeah, not too bad. And I also got the awning kit here. That's what's on the outside that I strapped in there. I only got one awning kit. But let's start taking this thing apart, shall we? All right. That can go over there for now. Let's get that out of the way. It is not light. I do appreciate it's kind of a... Looks like it's got plenty of space in it. I like that. It's not a bad bag. Okay, let's unroll this thing, shall we? Okay. All right. I'm going to stop here, bring the camera over here and show you what I was talking about, and then I'll set it back up, and then we'll keep moving. Sound good? All right, so this is what I'm seeing. You can see it's got the ripstop pattern in there to help keep it from tearing and whatnot, which is good. When on an ADV bike, you might hit some stuff. Who knows? You can see these straps here give you something to hang on to. They have these little guys on here, these loops, so you can put, well, whatever you want through there. You can strap other things to the bag, or I suppose strap it to the bike or whatever you have it on. So that's nice. Here's those clinch straps that I had those poles in. So again, more space to strap stuff to this, which is good because this is going to take up a lot of space by itself already. More of those loops right there, so you can secure it down pretty well. There's our reflective stripes there, and up here, this is what we're looking like on the inside. So it is a waterproof bag, so I do appreciate that as well. Not super thick material, but dang, she is heavy. All right, let's keep going. All right, let's dump her out. Oh, what's this? Oh, cool. We have directions sewn into the inside, so you're not losing the directions. And it's also one of those, it's not regular paper, that's like tent material, so it's waterproof as well. So you know it's not going to fall apart when you get it wet for the first time. That's good. Let's see. 6 steps. That's pretty nice. They're keeping it simple. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. All right, let's dump it out. Let's start with that. Oh, yep. That wasn't too hard, no, was it? Get that out of the way. All right. Let's roll it out. Yeah, that's obviously a lot of ripstop going on. Okay. Holes. I do not know what this is. What is this? That looks like a rain fly. Throw that over there too. That's definitely stakes. That's a repair kit. All right, looks like we've got the tent now. Let's flip her open here. I'd imagine that after you use it for the first time and roll it back up, you can just keep it all together and make it a lot easier. There's a lot of tent here. Holy cow, look at this thing. Massive. Oh yeah. All the pieces are still kind of stuck together. That new that new tent sound and feeling. Oh yeah, it's all stuck still. All right, that's better. Now it's coming apart for me. All right, I'm gonna spread it out a little bit better and then I'll show you closer here. All right, this is what we're working with. So I figured out, I guess it came mostly assembled. The inside tent area, the part that's lined, is already attached to the inside of it on this one. And then that's our garage area over there. So really what I had to do is just pull it apart, really. Just spread it out. It was pretty well stuck together from being in the packaging. But once I got it all separated, it came out pretty well. So you can see this is the garage. There's no tent in here, right? And you can see the zipper down the middle. That's going to be your zipper down the middle. This is the two halves right here. So you know that this is essentially this corner. So that's going to be the left corner, and the other one's going to come over this way. But we don't care about that at the moment. We care about this over here. This is the tent side. So, as you can see, there's our tent liner. It's in there. It's all attached already. So, we'll deal with that later. I guess we basically ignore the tent part, and we stake down the outer shell here, because that's the part that's going to hold everything together. It says to put the poles in, and then we also have to stake down this end, and then we start stretching it out. But let's go take a look at the poles. I'll talk about materials here. So we'll hit this once it's set up. You can see our bags. Everything is that ripstop fabric. Everything. Even the bags for these. There, see my camera is cooperating now. So everything is that ripstop fabric. You can see it there. Even the bags that hold everything. So I'm going to pull these apart and get all the poles situated and laid out. Here's our directions that you can reference. Essentially, we spread it out. We put the poles in. We stake one end, pull the other end taut so it stands up, and then stick it down on the other end. And then we stake the rest of it down. Is basically what I'm getting from this. All right, so you can pause if you want. Take a look at that. These are the poles. I have them all put together. Stakes are on the ground. Let's look at these components. So this was actually, it looks like a ground sheet, and that's not in the directions. I'm assuming that is the ground sheet for the garage area. I don't think it's for the sleeping area, but we'll find out together, I suppose. These stakes are pretty nice. I like them. I think they probably should be about 3 inches longer, though. But I like the materials. I like the color. It's a lot easier to see, so you're not losing your stakes. And the shape helps provide strength, so I do appreciate that. It's aluminum stakes. All right, there's our ground sheet, which we'll play with later. These are poles. They're definitely aluminum, and they seem pretty nice. What I do appreciate is they do spin on each other, so because they have an angle to them for the tent. But if you notice, as I pull this up, it corrects itself. It spins around and takes its own shape. So that tells me that we'll be able to shove it through the sleeves on the tent, and it'll figure its way out, like figure its way into the correct shape. So that's good. We've got the 2 red poles and the black one. Yep. All right, she says do the black pole first. Says to put the black pole, red poles, stake this end, pull that end out, stake that end. So let's see how good this goes the first time. You can struggle with me. We can struggle together. If you see I'm doing anything wrong, feel free to say so in the comments. I'm sure you guys will appreciate being able to do that. Like I can stop you anyway. All right, got a little snag going on here. Ah, okay, that's why. There's a seam right here, and I was just catching the seam. All right, we're through the seam. All right, make sure it's fully seated in the pocket over here. That's kind of nice. So this end over here, I'll show you at the camera later, but this end over here is really well reinforced and also waterproof from the material I'm seeing here. So I do appreciate that, all the way down to the very tip, the corner. That's pretty nice. Okay, let's keep it moving, shall we? All right. Got some tension going on there. It doesn't seem normal. Oh, that's what's going on. All right, so we're going to push that through. Look at me following directions. That never happens. Ask my wife. She'll tell you. All right. Looks like we got 2 more red poles. It's astonishing how heavy this thing was. When you take it apart, it doesn't seem like it should be so heavy. But it is, and I guess it makes sense because the materials they're using here seem to be pretty decent. Pretty darn decent. I would just be curious how it holds up to wind. That was really my only concern. Alright, let's get this thing through. I'm just holding and just shoving the thing through. That same seam that was back there is catching here. So since I'm already over here, I might as well get it all the way fully seated before I put it in. Okay. So that one's seated. Now I'm going to push it through, and I did notice it for sure took its shape as I gave it tension. The pole straightened out to where it wanted to be. So it's doing the things it's supposed to. Okay, we're just going to ignore that's falling that way. I don't think it really matters right now. We're just keeping tension and getting it into its home. Where did it go? I know it should be right here. I am a little perplexed. Oh, I'm just special. That's all it is. Found it. Okay. All right. Pull that this way a little bit. And we got 1 more to go. Huh. I think it'd probably make more sense to start on this end and work your way that way, but we're following directions today, folks. See if I can flip it. Sure, that'll make it easier. Pole's not going anywhere, so. Man, this is a long pole. All right. Let's see if it gets caught on that same seam again. I bet it will. A little bit. Sweet. I'm just going to walk over here and make sure it did actually seat. For sure. Yeah, I went right into its little home there. That's nice. I like how easy these poles are to get into place. All right, let's put that in its home. No problem. All right, so further directions. We are to tighten her down here and pull that in that way. So why don't we do that? Put some oxygen in. First time, folks. First time. Go gentle. All right. 3 little guys. I'll just... Man, this thing definitely takes a lot of stakes. That's for sure. I guess it has to with what it's got going on here. Oh, just... All right, come on. Come this way. Come this way. I want you right here. Okay. All right, there's one. Now my stakes I had are hiding underneath. Found them. Okay. Stretch these out here. I'm kind of getting what they're shooting for here. I think they're saying I need to stake that out. I think is what they're saying. They didn't specify like which ones to put the stakes on. They said just stake the 3 on the end. So there's like 500 stakes in this thing, so I don't really know exactly which one they're saying. And I did not look at any install videos online because I'm doing this blind, as one should. Okay. Okay. Let's grab a couple more sticks. They said to pull it out and do this end. Don't know how I feel about this. Got some wind coming up too. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. It's all off the rails. It's all off the rails. Okay. Oh, there's some straps along the side here. I wonder if that's causing some problems. All right, I'm going to go through and stake it down more here. All right, so I got it set up, and I went through and I figured out what was causing some of the issues I was having trying to get it set up there. So first off, we'll start at the beginning when I pulled it out, and then I was trying to get it staked down, and I was having issues with it fully coming out. It was these straps right here. So it was wrapped around two of the poles. So that's what was causing the issue with me actually getting it furled out, was these straps. But I can see what they're for, because this is kind of a freestanding structure, essentially. What this is doing is it's providing rigidity to the actual poles, and it's tying everything together so they don't spread apart. And so it keeps it rigid to provide that support for the tent as a whole. We zoom out here. So I understand why they did that. I can already tell you off the bat that's going to drive me nuts, because I think I'm going to probably trip on it, because every entrance into this tent on the garage side has that strap, and I know I'm going to be catching my feet on it. But it's just a little thing to pay attention to. If you have it a little bit loose like it is now, it's more on the ground, but if you really taunt it out, it's about 2 inches off the ground and it's tight. So a little bit of a trip hazard, I think. I don't know if there's any way to keep that from happening, but it's there. All right, so you can see this footprint is kind of insane. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't guy it out, because it needs the support. So as you can see, I have these roped up about halfway, so they're not sticking out so far. You can see how far out that's coming, right? So this tent's already massive. Then you got these guy lines that are coming out to that, right about there. That's half the length that they could be. So that's there. There's the other one over there. So you're basically adding an additional 6 feet of space on this side of the tent that you're going to need for guy lines. And this one's even longer because this is the big side, right? So as you can see this is about 8 feet from the edge. I have my camera zoomed out, so that's kind of a wide lens right now. But this is about 8 feet distance from the edge of the tent. So if you're going to require this much space to be taken up, I would suggest at least making the garage bigger. Might as well, if you're taking up so much space. Okay, so then you can fit 2 bikes underneath there, right? It's the same story over here. Guy line comes out about 8 feet from the tent. And that's half the length of what it could be. So it could be all the way out to about 16 feet if it's going to be really windy. You need that anchorage. But there we go. Okay, so I do not have these ones staked down because this is a door and I'm going to want it open. You could stake one down, I guess, or if it's going to be really windy, you could stake this side down and just go through the other side just to help keep it, in place. But let's take a closer look at some of this. Something else I'm noticing is that the anchor points are not consistent around the tent. So you can see this big fat strap that if it gets windy and crazy, I could see it potentially coming up and over the stake here. But you can see how that one's retained there. And we go this way. And I don't know why they didn't just extend this strap out, but they didn't. So I put the stake through that little loop there. And then we come over here, we got those straps. And again, that same skinny guy, that little sub loop there. You got elastic guy on this end here of the garage. It's holding that onto that stake, and it just continues around. Let's take a look at these. This I really do like, actually. So for the guy lines, this is that hidey pocket there for the guy line when you're not using it. You can shove it inside of there. But it's also what's tied into the tent, and it's spreading the load really well, actually. on the, not only on the seam, which is really important, especially for how much wind this thing's going to catch. It's spreading that load from the guy line across that end, across the pole there. And it's the same story on that end, same exact thing. I really like how they did this. It's good stitching, good materials, a good spread for the load. I mean, you're really going to need it if this thing catches wind. So they did a good job with that. I like that. Obviously, everything's that ripstop stuff, right? All that waterproof ripstop. Now, something that I can immediately tell you I don't like is that there is no skirt on this tent. I do not like that. All right, so there's no skirt. This is just a shell. It doesn't come down to the ground and, you know, like a skirt to direct water away from your tent. Especially when it comes to the garage area, that water is gonna, especially if it's wind blown, is gonna run down this and go right into your garage area and create a mud hole in there. So I mean, I'm gonna find out tomorrow because it's supposed to be 38 degrees and raining and snowing. So maybe I'll get some good footage for you. But yeah, there's no skirt on this tent. I think that's a massive spot for improvement. And let's take a look at the inside, shall we? All right, so I just rolled that up for us so we could see better. Both sides zip up, no problem. I like it. The material's good. The door is solid. The zipper is really smooth. I'm actually pretty surprised on that, especially for the first time using it. The space is pretty good. Again, we got a little trip hazard going around here. I don't really like that, but I don't really know how they could build it otherwise unless they put a bottom in the tent. And then you're going to rip it up if you put a motorcycle in there. So, and then that little liner, that other liner thing I had that came in the package is a floor for right here, which I would probably never use, but it's available. Again, mud hole situation, right? So you might actually want it. And like I was saying, because you have to use so much of the space here just for the guy lines, you might as well make this stick out a lot further. And then you can fit 2 bikes in here and you're not really gaining a whole lot of weight because you already have the structure. So just another opportunity. One huge thing that I think Lone Rider missed on here, big opportunity I think they missed, is to make it so you can zip in a bug net on all of your doors for the garage area. Because for most of us, we live in areas that have mosquitoes and bugs, and it would be pretty sweet to kick the motorcycle out of the house and tell it to go get its own job and have a spot to hang out of the bugs and out of the rain simultaneously if needed, you know, to be happy. I think that's a really big opportunity. If they're going to make a new version of this tent, I'm certainly providing them that feedback. That's a big opportunity for them. All right, so immediately I can tell you I really like how this anchors to the outer shell. You can see it's pretty darn simple. This are your elastic straps with the basically kind of like a hook and circle, I don't know what you would call that, but we've all seen these, right? That's how it is all the way around. And what that means is that when the wind's hitting it and this thing going all over the place, it's not tearing itself apart. It has some give, which is good. So I like that. I can tell you right now, I'm going to absolutely love having these pockets. This is going to make me so happy. Put my headlamp in there, some munchies, who knows, whatever you need. Battery pack for charging your phone. I'm going to be using that like a lot. I really like that. I just can see that we've got that mesh there to keep the bugs out of the tent. That's cool. I like that at 5'10", I have plenty of space to stand up in here. That's awesome. I'm going to zoom out so we can see better. Yeah, so this is pretty sweet. More room for opportunity is our unused spaces, right? So like here, a little bit there, you know, because the door is on this side, to put more of those elastic pouches in these areas here, you know, just kind of similar to how we have this, where it's stretchy, you know, and doesn't really weigh anything. I would just load that down in these areas so, you know, you have a place to put your gloves, your socks for tomorrow, you know, any other gear that you might want. Just, it's a garage, right? Make it a garage. Give us storage. We always have a lot of goodies we know want to find places for. But this is pretty solid. Something else I'm already noticing immediately is it's pretty warm in here already, and it's only 40-something degrees. I would like to see a vent on the top that you could open and close there and in the sleeping area, so you can get some more airflow through here. Because I can already tell you, even with these things open, it's still going to be hot in there. But overall, it's pretty good construction so far. This mesh is nice and fine. It's pretty strong. Oh, that's not stretchy. Stitching looks pretty good. Let's get in there. All right, this is the first time I've seen the inside, and I like what I'm seeing. That red color is nice. I'm going to step in here. I got a nice bathtub. Plenty of space for my fat butt. Maybe the wife, if she feels like coming with. We have more of these pockets. I really like that, and they're all the way up. And we look in the corners. We got wide angles on my camera right now, so it looks smaller than it actually is. That's what she said. That's a pretty big pocket there. Another one over there. Another one there and there. So they put extra pockets in here. Just do the same thing in the garage area. That's all I got to say. Just put massive pockets in there for all of our gear that we all have that we don't really want in the tent with us necessarily. But yeah, this is pretty nice. I like to see a little bit more retention in this area here to help keep it a little bit higher up off of you. But other than that, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. I like these double zipper guys here with the bug netting. Solid. That's plenty of space. Plenty of space. For this one, I mean, a GS would need a little bit more, but this isn't bad. I got plenty of room to back it up. I probably went too far forward. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I can already tell I want to go the other way, so it leans. I don't know. I think it's probably fine the way it is. You can play with it either way. But yeah, that's plenty of space for that thing. Will I put it in there? Maybe. Who knows? I'll play with it either way. All right, awning kit's next. And this is it. I took it apart, and there's our 2 poles, 2 stakes, the carry bag. I can already understand how this whole thing goes together. Here's our 2 guy lines with the clips. They're going to clip into the bottom of that door on both sides, and we'll guy it out. Straightforward. I like it. Let's do it. All right. I do like that they make this so simple. I'm trying to put it through the little loop, but I might give up on it and just go through the bigger part of the loop, because this is, it's brand new. It needs to be stretched out. Let's just do it that way. There we go. We got it on there. All right, that one's on. Let her lay there. Let's grab the next one. And again, this is the first time I've done any of this. I didn't watch anything on the YouTubes on how to set it up. And we're doing this together today. There's that wind. All right, just got to get this little loop. And almost. There we go. I also appreciate that this swivels, so it'll give with the wind and with the adjustments so that it stays taut. I appreciate that quite a bit. All right, let's grab pole number 1. Stick that on there. Let's put that something along these lines, I suppose. I can already tell you that I wish this was an adjustable height pole. That would be where it's at. We'll just pick the table out of the way. Come on now. Move our ground sheet that I'm not going to use out of the way. There we go. That's better. All right, so I'm going to go for something about like that. That looks pretty solid to me. Let's do that, shall we? Next. Man, this makes me want to get another awning kit for the other side. I like this quite a bit. I guess I can go straight up and down, but I like a little bit more support. There we go. All right, I know you're gonna see the back of my fat head as I get closer to the camera, but that's okay. We'll do this together. All right, get that stake down. Good thing my campsite here doesn't have a lot of rocks, because holy cow, this thing takes a lot of stakes. All right, so I can already tell you that 1, I'm gonna like this, but 2, it's gonna take some finagling if it's raining to be able to keep this thing up and get the water to shed how you want it. There you tell, because these aren't height adjustable, so you're gonna have to really kind of play with it a little bit. But not too bad, not too bad at all. I think what might be an easy way to do a height adjust is just to make, instead of having this shot corded, just to have each section clip into each other. So if you need to, you can just remove a single section that's maybe 6 or 8 inch sections or whatever, one foot sections like they already are. So you can just remove one section so you can lower one pole or the other pole so you can get your water drainage off to that side. That'd be a really easy way to do it. But here's what it is. It's a pretty decent run at a MotoTent here. I do like it. Okay. All right, got the wide angle lens going here so you can see everything. Obviously you can see our guy line coming all the way down to here. It's about 8 feet away from the pole. Same thing over there. I shorten them about, I give them about halfway, so it can go twice that, but plenty of room for adjustment. So about 8 feet there and about 8 feet from there. So again, just think about how much real estate we're taking up right now. This is a massive amount of space. So if we're going to take up this much space, might as well use it. Maybe make the awning a little bit bigger. Again, screen in the garage just like you did the tent area, so I can get out of the bugs in the rain. And yeah, so I think I figured out what was going on back here. So when we went to set it up originally, it was all kind of weird. So that red guy over there was wrapped around the legs, 2 legs, so that messed that up. But when the directions it says to stake out 3 stakes back here, it doesn't tell you which ones. I think we need to stake out that one, this one, and the one on the other side, and then pull it tight and then do the things. What I did was I staked out these 3, and it just didn't work right. So I think we got to go with that one there, that one, and the one on the other side, and then lift it up and do the other side and put the rest of the stakes in. But I'm pretty sure now, after doing this stuff for the first time, that we could set it up probably 2 or 3 times as fast as it did this time. Pretty sure. So my initial impressions here are that we have ourselves an actually pretty well made tent, like most things you see from these folks. They pick some pretty good materials. They have a pretty well thought out design. We have a lot of room for improvements here. Again, my main gripes that I'm seeing right now off the bat, first time looking at this thing, is 1, we need a skirt around the outside to help direct rain away. I'm telling you that right now. Skirt would be pretty nice, especially for keeping stuff out of the garage area. So skirt. And the next really big opportunity here is to do what they did with the tent part and put a zip-in bug net for the garage area so you can hang out in there out of the bugs and out of the rain. That would be awesome. I don't think there's anybody else in the market that has that. That would be so cool. And I would use it for a lot more than just moto camping. And the last part for improvement is probably to better utilize some of the space here. So like I talked about how we have all this dead space, put pockets in there. Give us some mesh pockets to put more of our gear, our baklavas, our gloves, our socks for tomorrow, maybe dirty clothes that could probably use a little airing out. You know, who knows? Whatever we need it for. Use all that dead space, put more pockets in there. A ridge pull right here will probably help this thing a lot as far as rigidity goes. And when you have these doors open, it doesn't have as much support, right? These things can move around a lot more. Ridge pull will help keep that rigid. Maybe their end on this section here might not be a bad idea. The stakes could be probably 2 to 3 inches longer. I think they're a little bit short, but they are nice stakes. I think that's about the biggest things that I'm seeing right now off the bat of setting this up. I can't really pick too many things at it yet because this is the first time, my first eyes on it, first time using it. I'm going to camp in it tonight. I'm going to be in it tomorrow. We'll see how it goes with 30-something degrees, 20-something degrees, rain and snow. Hopefully I'm comfortable. I'm sure I will be. It's going to depend on my sleeping bag situation, but we'll get there. All right, so you know what? I got an idea. I got an idea. I want to see something. Let's get this guy out of here. And let's try something a little different. Oh, I cannot believe it fits. That's insane. And I've got room to the left side to get it over so I can get in between the four-wheeler and get into the tent easier. I cannot believe this fits. I got room to back up too. Okay, which I would need. This is a two-person 1000R Can-Am, and she fits inside the tent. That is blowing my mind. Well, I guess I can use it for more than just the motorcycle now, can't I? Uh-oh. I've got new toys. Oh, boy. Well, so you got to see me set this thing up, struggle, learn. I got to show you my gripes, what I liked about it so far. Really, literally my true initial impressions of this thing. And yeah, I think I can't tell you whether or not I will buy it yet because this is too early. This is the first time I've used it. I've got to use it for this season first. And obviously I'm going to use it on the motorcycle. I'll probably use it with just car camping. I might use it with that four-wheeler, which still blows my mind that it fits in there. We'll see. Stay tuned on that one. But yeah, I think we've got a pretty good product. I really do. This one being as large, bulky, heavy as it is, I don't see anybody in a dual sport really using it. This is definitely something that would be useful for more towards that like 890 and up category, like your GS, your 1290s, that kind of stuff. That's for someone that spent $30,000 on a bike, you probably want to get it out of the rain. So this is a really good option. And also, there's not a whole lot of other options in the market that really, I think, hit as good as this one does. But I'll give you the midterm and long-term review. Those will be coming in the next 6 months or so, and we'll make that happen. If you want to support the channel, head over to Patreon. Leave me a comment down below. Of course, subscribe, all that good stuff. The biggest thing for me is those comments. I read all of them. If I did something wrong or I missed something, let me know. I mean, that's how we all learn, right? So put it in there so it's not just me learning it, but the community. So get down in those comments, let us know. And then also, I'm an affiliate with these guys now with Lone Rider. So I have a link in the description. If you use it, I'll get a kickback. And again, helps me buy things for the channel and do adventures and stuff like that to help you out. If I get a discount code from them for you, it will go into the description. Whether it's now or in the future, I will go back and edit it so I can help you out as well. So that being said, if you like this content or want more content like that, check out the channel. I've got a lot more other stuff, everything from shooting to fishing to this kind of stuff to motorcycling, all kinds of shenanigans we get into on the farm out here, on my campsites I got here, and around Minnesota and Wisconsin. So check that out. And again, thank you for watching, and take care, stay safe, and have fun out there.